Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Liklix. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to tell you how to add a form, how to add data from your form in database in Laravel. So basically it is called the CRUD operations like CRUD, we mostly call this as a CRUD operation. Create is basically the inserting data into your database. Then R is reading a data from your database, and U is your updations, and D is your deletions. So these are the four rules of CRUD, and we are going to implement all these things in my this video tutorial. So starting with the things are first of all we need to open the database. So localhost php myadmin. I'm going to create a new database over here. So and let it be a database, and by clicking on a database, I have a video of SQL tutorial onto my channel, and if you want that you should know about how to create a database, what are different queries, you can check out that video also. So moving to this one, and I'm going to create as Laravel uh, Laravel database. So this is the database I am going to create, and in this database I am going to create a table with the name of student, and I'm going to take as 5 fields. So number of columns will be 5. ID is a mandatory column that you have to take. So it's 11. We have to assign ID as primary key, and along with the primary key I need it as auto increment so that it can have unique values with itself. So moving to this part, I am going to tell its first name and 255. It should be a varchar and a 255 characters. And also first name, if you're writing the first name, it should be a small letters, and if there is a space in between, you have to fill the space with underscore. So moving to the next part, its last name, again it will be a varchar 255 character. Then it's marks 1 and marks 2. I'm taking these two fields so that the operation should be performed later on. So this is the table I have created with ID, first name, last name, marks 1 and marks 2. So I'm going to click on a save button. So here my student table is made in Laravel, and now moving to the next part, I'm going to get here. First of all, I need to open the env file. I have a project name, my second project in the env file. There is a .env file in your every Laravel project folder. I need to open this, and here there are the few lines that are written over here. I don't need to change each and every line. You have to find out the 13th number line, and in that there is a written db underscore database as Laravel. You need to fill your own database which you have been created at the back end. So my database name is Laravel. You have to simply write this name over here. So DB database is Laravel. You don't have to write double quotes or nothing else. You have to simply put this name, and you need to save the file. So in this way, you will be connecting. You have connected your my second project with this database Laravel. So moving to the next part, as I have told you that I am going to create a CRUD operations. I will create a form in which the user will fill up that form, and data will be inserted at the backend. So for that I need a URL. So in the URL, in the roots folder and the web.php, I'm going to create a URL over here. I can just mention here as that these are my Laravel CRUD operations roots. So these are my Laravel CRUD operation roots. I have mentioned it's the comment. So I am going to create a root that will be a get root, and in this I will be say it as a display form, and whenever the URL will be a display form, then basically it will be going to your the controller. I can put as IController that two will be in the double quotes. It will be a IController, and at the rate at which function it will be going. It will be going in the display form function. So display hyphen form URL will take me to iController at the rate display form. So what are basically controllers? Controllers are the intermediators between your views and models. So later on, I am going to explain you in detail, but right now we can check here like how to display, because in the earlier tutorial I have explained you that by typing a URL of ABC, direct view will be opened. But now I am going to open my this view with the help of controller. So let's start display form. I'm going to tap a display form over here, and now let's check the display form. So right now I have not made any controllers. Any iController is not being made, and not even a display form method is being made. So right now it is giving me the error. So now I am starting with creating a controller part, and one thing I have been missing here, like there is a double column here in order to check a root. So I have put a single column, there is a double column here. So now let's start how to make a controller in Laravel. So now we are going to start creating a controller, and if I'm going to click on here, now the controller iController does not exist. So moving to the controller part, I will open a command prompt. You can open the command prompt by just CMD, typing a CMD over here. So you need to enter a full path like the C drive. I have a XAMPP folder, htdocs folder, my second project. This URL I have to copy from here, and I need to paste this URL here. So by typing a CD and right click, you can just paste your URL. And now I I have been in my second project. So now I will make a command, put a command over here, php artisan. So this is an inbuilt command to create a controller, php artisan make controller. So which controller I have specified over here, it's iController. So simple, I need to type as iController. So php artisan make controller iController. If I am going to click, if I am going to press enter, a command is being executing, and it will create a controller name as iController. So now let's check in my second project. Here is my second project folder. In the app folder there is http folder, and in the http there is a folder named controllers, and in controller my a new controller is being generated, that is iController. So this is the basic structure of a controller. It is being inherited with namespace http controllers. The request is being used in this. The request object will be used to get all the values of the form variables. So this is an iController is extended with a controller that is a base controller. So here I'm going to type my function. So web.php iController is being created. So when I'm going to display, when I'm going to like check here, if I'm going to check a display form, so iController exists, and in the iController we don't have a display form. So I'm going to create a display form. So public function, it will be a display form function, and in this display form function I am going to return view, and I can just check here as it will be a display underscore form. So in the view folder I need to create a view as display form. So in the view folder, like in I'm going into my second project folder, in the resources in views folder, I'm going to create my display form.play.php. So I'm going to just copy paste this, and display form.play.php. So this is my blade file. So right now it's empty. So now if you are going to check this, now I'm going to explain it like slash display form. It will be taking me to the IController. IController is this controller, and in this IController, it will be going to take me to the display form function. There is a display form function exists like written in controller, and here it is going to return a view display form. So display form is a view that is being presented in my like created in my resources view folder. So in this way it is going to render your view. So let's check with the out. So let's see the output. If I'm going to click here, display form, and it's still not working. Let's check what's see. Sometimes you need to specify the full path. Like we have a controller uh, in HTTP controller icontroller.php, but still it's not finding this. For this, you can just like put here as you can specify here the full path app http and slash controllers. So uh, okay, so here my display form is been opened, and if I am going to check here is hello to Laravel. So now it is being rendered. So now I'm going to create a form over here. So creating a form, I will create a quick form, HTML head, title, body, and we can just create a form. We have to specify its action, and method will be post and form close, and we can just give here as we can define here as table. So moving to the table part, I can just define here as the 2td first name, then input type text, and we have to specify its name as first name. Then we need to create last name and its variable as last name, then a marks 1, its variable as name as marks 1, and marks 2. So in the last we are going to make a submit button, name save. So one thing you have to include in your form is that you have to put here, as it is a blade file. So this is a Laravel syntax, right? So here you have to mention a field as CSRF field. You have to specify it over here. If you are going to specify it, then only your form will be posted, otherwise your form will not be posted. Now defining a URL, because as we all know that every URL will be going through web.php file. So for defining a URL, we need to specify here a inbuilt tag URL, and I'm going to check here, I'm going to write here as form submit. So this is basically the form that I'm going to create over. If I'm going to just refresh this, a form is being created, and there is one extra field over here. I'm just going to delete this. So a form has been created, first name, last name, marks 1 and marks 2. So CSRF field is a mandatory tag. Form action will be your URL, and a forms on the form submit it will be going to take. So let's create a web file. In the web file, I'm going to create a root. So in root, I'm going to create a get, and now like so this is basically, see, in the above URL you are going to write, you have written directly onto your this URL file, so you need to write here as get. But whenever you are going to like depending upon the form method, like here I have mentioned the form method as post, so I need to like define here as post root URL. So here I'm going to submit as form submit, because I'm going to take it to a URL called form submit, and in the form submit again I'm going to take it into the sum. I'm just going to copy this, and after pasting I'm going to say there, it will take you to form submit action in your IController. So moving to the IController, I'm going to create a form submit method, public function form submit. Form submit. In the form submit, I'm going to check as a request is an inbuilt class and its object, because every form data uh, will be you can say answered by the request object. And now I'm going to create here uh, add object and of student model. So what is basically the model? So I have created an object of my student class. See, like here you have not to mention the round brackets over here. So it is basically a model. So how to create a model in Laravel? Let's see. We are again going to open the command prompt. In the command prompt, again I will be referring my project folder. In the XAMPP, it's htdocs, and in the my second project, I'm going to copy this URL again and cd right click. So in this way, I can just enter into my second project folder, and here I will be again to make a controller. I have written a command, and in the same way to create a model, I will be writing a command here as PHP artisan make model student. So by clicking on the enter part, I can just define here like there is some error I have taken as something. So I think I have written a wrong spelling name of a model. So it's MODEL. So PHP artisan make model student. So the model is being created. So model where it can be existing in the app folder, and my second project in the app folder, in the models folder, there is a model named student that is being created with the help of this php artisan make model command. So student.php, so it is already been created, and like the namespace app models illuminate, it is basically the class student is being created and it is extending the base model. And so here all the default things existing is being existed. So here I will going to mention as my protected table name, to which table it is being as this model is being associated. So a protected table student, and I can specify here as public timestamps. What are basically the timestamps? You need to do here the public timestamp as false. Basically whenever you are going to create a table, what Laravel suggests that you have to like mention the two more field column names such as created at and updated at. So for the right now, we are not creating timestamp fields. We have not created at column or updated at column. For this, you have to mention here as timestamp false. If you are not going to mention that, then Laravel will always be asking you to create that column names. Fine. So this is a model. So back into my IController, then I'm going to create an object of my model class, and this student class, this student model is being associated with my student table. So moving back to my controller, now I'm going to save my data into my database. So request if is method post, if it is method post, definitely it is a method post, and add is my object, and with the help of add I'm going to specify here my column names. So column name is first name, and in the request I have received my all form data. So here I'm going to write here as request get first name. So I'm going to just copy this all my variables part. So first name, now the last name, marks 1 and marks 2. So basically this is the all the name that I have given, the first name, last name, marks 1 and marks 2. This is all the name that I have given to my this column name, the input type text names that is been given. And now I'm going to these are the here are the basically your column names of your table. So first name, last name, then your marks 1, and in the last there will be marks. So add marks to request get. So we need to verify all this once we are going to finalize all the things. So in the display form, name is the first name, last name, marks 1 and marks 2. So here is the first name, last name, marks 1 and marks 2. See, there have done a spelling mistake. So marks 2, and one thing I have to do more is that I have created a model. So you need to add that model at top of your this file. You need to use as use app slash student. So student is a model name that I have been created. So student is a model name. So I need to add this into my controller and put a semicolon in the last, right? So in this way you can just include your model in your icon. Okay, so so before proceeding further, we need to just verify all the things that all the things are working fine. So here I have given the first name, last name, and here I have been included in my here I have included my model name in my controller. So let's check here, like my second project, there is an app folder. And one thing we need to change is that in the Laravel 7, the models were directly placed in the app folder. But as in Laravel 8, in the app folder, there is a folder that exists of models. So I need to add models here also, because it's app, then models, then the student model is available. So we need to add models also, because we need to follow the proper path and the guidelines of the Laravel structure. So in this way you can just add your this table. You can fill your object, and last you are going to call your object as add save. And you need to, after calling the save function, your values will be inserted into the backend. And now you are going to redirect it as on which form. You can redirect it on display form. So display form is a URL over here. Display form is the URL. So we need to check this once by running. So display form. So right now we are going to check what we have made. So there is a form, display form, and I'm going to add this ABC XYZ 100 and 200. So 200. Now I'm going to click on a submit button. So when I'm going to click on a submit button, so let's check the flow how it is being moved. So this is a form. First of all, I have clicked on a display form. So in the display form, when the URL is of display form, then it will be opening a display form function in IController. So display form function is this one. It is going to render your display form .blade.php. So my form has been presented. So in this form, first name, last name, marks is all there. After like typing, let it be John ABC 100 and 200. By clicking on a submit button, it is going to take me to the form submit URL. So form submit URL is this one, and then it will be taking me to IController form submit. So IController form submit method. So all the form values will be received in the request object. Then I have created a model of student. To create a model, as like I have mentioned, you need to type a command php artisan make model student. So I have given a reference. So if request is method post, so because it is a post method, so if request is method post, then request get first name will be filled in your first name column, this column, because this is first name, column name is this one, and this request get first name is your form first name. So last name marks 1 marks 2, and in the last I am going to call the same method, and it will be redirecting me to the display form method. So let's check submit button. So it has taken me back to the display form, and in the back end I'm going to check here as like I have input the two fields, so these two fields are filled in your database. So this is the process of creating a form and adding a data into your database with the help of Laravel. So if you like my video, just subscribe to my channel Netflix, and do like and share my videos if you like. So thanks for watching my video.